Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. Access to clean and safe water for residents of satellite towns in the Federal Capital Territory is set to improve as the federal government, in collaboration with the FCT administration, has launched the Lot 2 Karu Township Water Supply Project. The initiative forms a part of the Renewed Hope agenda designed to provide lasting infrastructure that directly impacts the lives of residents. Kabir Hassan reports.
At the flag-off ceremony, the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, says the project demonstrates President Bola Tinubu's administration commitment to delivering people-oriented infrastructure. He revealed that 50% of the project funding has already been approved, assuring residents that no project under his watch will be left incomplete.
This is one of the promises made by Mr. President when he commissioned in June, 2 months ago, of the Abuja Greater Water. He said he was going to also do this in the satellite towns. And we have started with Buhari Area Council and Amak Area Council.
Also speaking, the Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmoud, commended the initiative, stressing that the project will bring relief to communities in Karu and its environs by ensuring safe and potable water supply.
This project is beyond water, but it is a symbol of progress, also a promise fulfilled and a future renewed. President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for the Renewed Hope agenda, the leadership of His Excellency speaks louder than words. Today, the people of Karo and its environ feels the commitment, the impact of commitment of His Excellency in every home, on the street and also in the heart. We thank Mr. President for all that he has been doing and the support he has been giving to our administration under Barrister Nyesom Wike.
Representing the contractors, CGC Nigeria Limited, Lynn Herman, pledges quality and timely delivery, promising that the project will be completed ahead of schedule.
I wish to express my appreciation to our minister for his strong leadership and his concern for the people welfare. We believe under his leadership and with the joint effort of all the stakeholders, this project will be completed with high quality, with high efficiency.
When completed, the Karo Water project is expected to serve thousands of residents, enhance public health, and boost social economic activities across satellite towns in the FCT. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima would lead a federal government delegation to the burial of the late Emir of Zuru, Muhammad Sani Sami, Commissioner of Information and Culture in Kebbi State, Yakubu Ahmed, who said the burial prayer will be performed at the Central Jumat Mosque in Zuru shortly after Jumat prayer today, preparatory to the Vice President's visit. The state delegation to the burial, headed by House of Assembly Speaker Muhammad Usman, had inspected the Zuru airstrip and the venue of the burial prayer. A new digital tool has been unveiled to track the performance of Nigerian lawmakers, known as Deliberative Barometer. The report covers the first session of the 10th National Assembly. The digital tool elevates the plenary contributions of all 469 federal lawmakers between June 2023 and June 2024, measuring debates, motions, bills, petitions, and committee reports. The report covers the first session of the 10th National Assembly. Our correspondent, Anete Patrick, reports.
And Policy Innovation Hub, in partnership with civil society groups launched the Deliberative Barometer and Policy Focus Productive Report. According to the findings by the President, EGAF Africa Legislative Governance and Policy Innovation Hub, Chibuzo Okereke, the House of Representatives recorded over 4,200 legislative actions, while the Senate logged more than 2,200. Security, economy, and education emerged as top focus areas. However, the report also revealed that 4% of senators and 12% of representatives recorded zero legislative actions during the period. Meanwhile, top performance included Senate Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele and Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, led in the House with more than 100.
Within the data framework we have built, you can know that this member, since he came in the first session, all he has done is to second motion only, or to, or he also shows you the legislators who have not said a word throughout the first session of the National Assembly, which we classify as lawmakers with zero legislative actions within that period. And those who are top performing legislators.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by Cyril Hart, says the barometer is a mirror for lawmakers as it challenges members to raise the standard of representation, lawmaking, and oversight.
This platform tracks the productivity of lawmakers and evaluates policy, and it is a tool that can advance democratic growth in measurable ways. This compels us to constantly raise the standard of representation, lawmaking, and oversight by spotlighting legislative outputs.
This report gives Nigerians a scorecard to evaluate their lawmakers and ensure that Parliament works for the people. For EGAF Africa, its partners, the tool is a step towards strengthening Nigerians' democracy. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The federal government says it is set to train over 10 million youth across the country in digital and technical skills. These skills include programming, artificial intelligence innovation, plumbing, tiling, and other vocational trades. Ubong Usoro completes the reports.
The Federal Ministry of Education, through the Nigerian Youth Employment and Skill Acquisition Fund, has partnered with the World Bank to train service providers who will, in turn, train the youth nationwide. Speaking at the signing of MOU in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, represented by Dr. Nabila Mohammed, said the program is designed to tackle unemployment by equipping young Nigerians with skills that meet global demands.
You have all been shortlisted and visited, and you must have shown some form of commitment to be here today. So congratulations once again.
The World Bank representative, Dr. Mustara Rufai, said the initiative is a bold step towards preparing youth for future work by combining digital literacy with technical skills to create new generation of innovators and problem solvers.
The bank, in its bid to see youths acquire relevant skills, relevant market skills, is investing in the TVET sector. And it's not just to train them, but to see them get certification under the National Sales Qualification Framework and also to get employment.
The National Projects Coordinator of the Nigerian Youth Employment Through Skill Acquisition Fund, Blessing Ugu, said the service providers were selected after a rigorous process, stating that over 10 million Nigerian youth will be trained for 6 months all over the country.
The federal government of Nigeria, in this present administration, is focusing on training our youth, equipping them with specific skills that with the skills that the students can go out and have jobs.
The program will begin with the signing of the MOU with service providers before the full-scale training commences across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Stakeholders express optimism that the scheme will bridge the skill gap, enhance job creation, and contribute significantly to economic growth. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
The International Organization for Migration has donated 1.7 billion naira to support humanitarian relief efforts in Yelwata and Kata community of Guma and West local government area of Benue State. Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndiri reports.
The aid package, funded by the European Union, aims to alleviate the suffering of internally displaced persons affected by the June Yelwata attack in Guma and others from Gwe West. The donation was announced at the Government House, Makurdi, by IOM Deputy Director General for Operations, Ugochi Daniels, who led the delegation of UN agencies, EU envoys, and other dignitaries.
Today, I'm very pleased to announce, with much appreciation to the European Union, new funding of $1.1 million, which is 1.7 billion naira. And then in December, we will also launch a new initiative funded by the IOM Development Fund that is focused on reducing the risk of gender-based violence.
Governor Hyacinth Alia lauded the gesture and appealed for more support from development partners to facilitate the return of displaced persons to their ancestral homes.
My dream was to see a day when every internally displaced person will return to their ancestral home. And I and the government of Benue State are engaging all parties, including the federal government of Nigeria, the UN agencies and other international partners, to make this dream become a reality.
The delegation also visited the Otese IDP camp and community to commission a water project and assessed conditions at the mega camp, reaffirming IOM's partnership with the state government, as well as listen to IDPs air out their concerns. Representatives of IDP expressed gratitude for the aid and urged for a swift return to their ancestral homes. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo has charged newly promoted senior officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to uphold diligence, fairness and integrity as they take note on greater responsibilities. Presented by the Secretary of the Civil Defense, Fire, Correctional and Immigration Services Board, Major General Abdul Malik Jibril, retired. The minister gave the charge while decorating 22 Assistant Commandants General of Corps at the Dr. Ade Abolorin Auditorium in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okeri has details.
It was a day of pride, joy, and renewed responsibility as 22 senior officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps received their long-awaited promotion to the rank of Assistant Commandant General. The colorful decoration ceremony not only marked a career milestone for the officers, but also a moment of celebration for their families who witnessed the achievement. Representing the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, the Secretary of the Civil Defense, Fire, Correctional and Immigration Service Board, Major General Abdul Malik Jibril, retired, reminded the newly promoted officers that promotion comes with accountability and urged them to bring innovation that will help address Nigeria's current security challenges.
With insecurity across the country, as already mentioned, we expect that they will bring to bear various experiences to bear in tackling the challenges of national security.
On his part, Commandant General of NSCDC, Professor Abubakar Ahmed Audi, while congratulating the officers, urged them to show loyalty, professionalism and dedication while mentoring their subordinates. He also commended the minister's reform, which have cleared promotion stagnation in the service.
See what happens today. That is the product of hard work, commitment and unwavering determination. So we thank the President for this. Then to our officers that are decorated today, you've heard it from my minister. He said to whom much is given, much is expected. And it is popularly said that the higher you go, the tougher it becomes. The more promotion you get, the more challenges you face. So at this level, they have entered a very, very senior cadre of the management of the corps. And so they are expected, you've heard it from the minister, to be role models. They are expected to behave very well. And of course, they are expected to mentor.
The newly decorated officers pledged to justify their new ranks with renewed commitment to national security and service to the country. Highlight of the event was the oath of allegiance administered to the officers and the presentation of 5 million naira checks to the families of the personnel who lost their lives in the line of duty. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Commissioner of Police for the Federal Capital Territory, Ajao Adewale, has disclosed that illegal mining has evolved into a powerful cartel-controlled business funded by influential Nigerians. This illicit trade is driving banditry and costing the nation an estimated $909 billion, 13.7 trillion every year. The FCT Commissioner of Police made this known at a media brief organized by the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okeri reports.
Speaking at the media briefing organized by the Nigerian Union of Journalists FCT Council, the fight against illegal mining, role of the media in Abuja, the FCT Commissioner of Police, Ajao Adewale, described illegal mining as one of the Nigeria's most serious national security threats. He identified Zamfara, Nasarawa, Kogi, Kaduna, Niger, Kwara, Osun, and part of the FCT as major hotspots. Notably, over 72 suspects connected to illegal mining were arrested in Abuja alone between 2023 and 2024. Adewale emphasized that without strong cooperation between security agencies and the media, this criminals cartel will continue to prosper.
Illegal mining, and I'm taking what has happened between 2023 and 2025. Within these 3 years, Nigeria has lost a total of 41.1 trillion naira to illegal mining in physical cash. This is outside the human life that has been wasted.
In a remark, Grace Ike, the chairman of the NUJ FCT Council, called on journalists to move beyond basic reporting. She urged them to engage in investigative journalism that uncovers the financier behind illegal mining, gives voice to affected communities, and exerts pressure on policymakers.
We must leverage these platforms responsibly and disseminate vital information, debunk misinformation, and encourage a national conversation on sustainable mining practices, and that's exactly why we are gathered here today.
By providing balanced and accurate coverage, the media can shed light on the hidden danger, highlight the human and environmental toll, and compel authorities to take decisive action. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, we'll give you details on sports, business news shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome back. In business news, President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to try a newly launched personal income tax calculator that estimates how much will be paid under the tax reforms his administration recently signed into law. In a post on his official X account, the president said the calculator allows citizens to compare their estimated tax under the proposed reforms with current rates and ensure a clear understanding of the impact on individual incomes. Tinubu said the reforms, which take effect from January 2026, are intended to establish a fair tax system, one that never punishes poverty or weigh down the most vulnerable. The federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, has declared that the country is firmly on course to ramp up crude oil output to 2.5 million barrels per day by 2026, following its strategy to unlock deep water potentials, revive dormant fields, and accelerate approvals for new projects. It also announced the completion of a case-by-case review of the marginal fields licensing that are due for renewal. The Chief Executive of a Regulatory Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, stated this in Abuja while delivering his goodwill message at the 2025 Peng Energy and Labour Summit. Despite these shifts, Komolafe stressed that hydrocarbons would remain central to global energy demand for decades, especially in Africa and Asia. The Gutenberg Print Professionals Association of Nigeria has strongly condemned the federal government directive barring ministries, departments and agencies from outsourcing printing jobs to private companies. The association described the move as unfair, economical, harmful and counterproductive to Nigeria's development goals. In a statement signed by the association president Adekunle Adebambo and the national secretary Raymond Nwagu, the group warned that the policy would cripple the multi-trillion naira printing industry, throw thousands of workers into the labor market, and render years of private sector investment redundant. The federal government had directed all MDAs to cease patronage of private printing firms and rely exclusively on the federal government printing press, citing incidents of confidential government documents being exposed. However, Gupen urged that the blanket restriction was not the solution, insisting that a balanced approach would better serve the nation's interests. And on the foreign scene, Pope Leo has declared Friday a global day for prayer and fasting for peace, coinciding with the feast of Queenship of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The Pope made these announcements during his general audience in St. Peter's Square. The appeal comes as violence continues to escalate in Ukraine, the Holy Land, and the other region facing armed conflicts. Humanitarian organizations have warned of worsening conditions with growing numbers of displaced people and civilians caught in the crossfire. At least 30 Palestinians have been killed across Gaza since dawn, including 25 killed in Gaza City, where the most intense bombardments are taking place, according to medical sources. Hamas has accused Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of disregarding efforts by international mediators to reach a ceasefire and of forging ahead with the military occupation of Gaza City.
The Israeli settlement plan, which will bisect the occupied West Bank and cut it off from East Jerusalem, was announced last week and received the final go-ahead from a Defense Ministry Planning Commission on Wednesday. Guterres also urged Israel to reverse a decision.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has renewed his calls for immediate ceasefire as Israel approves a military plan for Gaza City. Speaking to reporters in Japan on the sidelines of the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, Guterres called for the unconditional release of hostages held by Hamas. Zarau Nasir reports.
But Israelis, which will bisect the occupied West Bank and cut it off from East Jerusalem, was announced last week and received the final go-ahead from a Defense Ministry Planning Commission on Wednesday. Guterres also urged Israel to reverse a decision to expand what he described as illegal settlement construction in the West Bank.
And talking about peace, I must reiterate that it is vital to reach immediately a ceasefire in Gaza and the unconditional release of all hostages, and to avoid the massive deaths and destruction that a military operation against Gaza City would inevitably cause.
Hamas recently said it accepted a proposal for a 60-day ceasefire and a hostages for prisoners exchange, but Israel is weighing the offer. Zahrau Nasr, Reporting for Global TV News.
And in sports, Chelsea are looking to complete 13 deals before the summer transfer window slams shut on September 1st. According to BBC, the Blues are trying to sign Xavi Simons from RB and Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United, but they would need to offload both Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku before trying to do these deals. That's it on Global TV News, Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.